I never thought I'd drive one of these, let alone live with one. This is my girlfriend's 2025 Tesla Model 3 long-range all-wheel drive. We've had it for a full year now, and in that time we've both learned a lot about what it's actually like to live with an EV every day. So here's what it's like to live with, how charging really affects everyday life, and how it drives compared to my Integra Type S, from someone who still loves shifting gears. Now quickly on the spec. She decided to go with the diamond black paint and black interior. Clean, simple, and timeless. This car was always in the running just because of how much you get for the money. Heated and ventilated seats, a great sound system, tons of storage, and a nice, smooth ride. From a value standpoint, it checks every box and then some. But that's just the car itself. What really separates an EV is how you do with charging. That's where things get interesting. Now here's the thing, charging looks completely different for everyone. So here's our setup. We've got a garage, a regular household outlet, and a supercharger right down the street. Plus my Integra Type S as a backup. No fancy level 2 charger, no home install, just the basic outlet. And honestly, I was skeptical before trying, but it works, and it works well. On a normal week, my girlfriend will get home on Friday, plug it in, and by Sunday it's fully charged. Yeah, that sounds slow, and it is. Since we've got another car, it's really not a problem. And now, what if you don't have another car? Well, we didn't for 2 whole months back in February, and what we did is just hit the supercharger once we dropped to around 20%. In around 20 minutes, we'd be back at 80. Easy. During the week, we'd top it off in the garage as needed. That's it. We've never had range anxiety, and the chargers have always been solid. Some lots do get crowded, but people flow in and out pretty quick. You know, you would think that sitting at a charger would be like the biggest buzzkill ever, but honestly, it's really not that bad. The car comes with a ton of things on it. It has a ton of games. It has Netflix, it has YouTube if you have accounts, things like that. Not to mention your phone. So the longest I've ever sat at one was 30 minutes. That was when the battery was cold. We didn't navigate to the charger beforehand. When you're on road trips and you're driving for a while, the battery's warm, it charges way faster. So just wanted to throw that out there. I thought it was gonna be terrible. I thought it was gonna be this big drag on driving and everything like that. But honestly, it's really not that bad. And you can honestly get some stuff done if you really wanted to sometimes, which I do find myself doing. Now, what about road trips? This is where I fully bought into this world. Here's a quick story for you. We were heading up to Stowe, Vermont, about a 7-hour drive. We left with 90% and stopped once 3/4 of the way through with around 10% left. We plugged in, stretched, and both joked about how this was the easiest road trip we've had in a while. 20 minutes later, we were back on the road with 80%. That's about as long as I'd stop in a gas car anyway, and that's when it fully hit me. All the fear I had about range, charging, planning, gone. Not once during that trip did we think about range whatsoever. We could go anywhere, do anything, just like any other car, and that's exactly what we did. So with all the tech that this car has, it's easy to forget that it's still just a car, right? So it still has to drive. So how does it? Well, honestly, it drives just like any other car with a few major differences. If you're like me, the first thing that you're gonna notice is just how much power you have on tap, like at all times. Whether you're going 0, starting from a stop, or you're at highway speeds, no matter what, you always have power on tap. And it's really cool. You put your foot down and you go. There's no drama at all. And about that, I'll get to that in a second. In my opinion, I mean, this is the ultimate point A to point B car. For things like commuting, running errands, visiting family, doing things like that, it's going to get it done every single time, and it's always going to work for you in our experience. A good way that I could think about it is that it feels like you're just along for the ride, not a part of it. For example, when you want to take a car like this that I mentioned that's going to be great for A to B driving, you're going to be sitting in traffic, you're going to be commuting, you're going to be going places that you don't always want to go. You want it to be easy, and you want it to be drama-free in a sense, right? And the lack of engagement, for better or for worse, in that sense is good. You don't want to be engaged to traffic. You want to be engaged to getting home. And I think that's the biggest strength that this car has, and that's where it becomes special when you start to think about it in that sense. From an enthusiast perspective, if you take a corner, it's going to handle pretty well. Like I said, you put your foot down and you get pulled back into the seat. It always puts a smile on your face. It's a lot of fun, and it always does it no matter what the conditions are, honestly. Once you stop thinking about it as a sports car, that's when it becomes something of its own. It's a point A to point B car. It is the ultimate daily driver if you just want to focus on getting to your destination. When you stop thinking about how engaging it is and you start thinking about it for what it is, in my opinion, a really good daily driver, that is where it becomes very, very special. Would I trade my Integra Type S for it? Absolutely not. But that's not what this car is trying to be, in my opinion. They're similar price points. They're similar cars in terms of maybe having a hatch, having 4 doors, having tons of storage, having a lot of practicality, but they offer 2 completely different purposes. After a full year with this car, here's what we've learned. It's built for someone who wants utility, something that gets you from point A to point B with as little hassle as possible, with comfort, great build quality, and all the tech you could need. Sure, you might have to plan longer trips, and no, it's not replacing your sports car anytime soon, but that's not what it's trying to do. If, say, my Integra Type S is for the drive, this is for the destination. 2 totally different worlds, but both remind me of why I love cars in the first place. If you like this, drop a comment and a like to let me know, and subscribe to see more of these cars in the future. Thanks for watching and take care.